How'd you manage to do that?
Yeah, that was the top going into the cushion and then becoming backspin off the cushion. And it just sort of makes a complete swerve, which is very much like a shot that the old billiard players used to play. If we just use the balls and move them about a bit. You'd say I was snookered on the black ball like that.
You can actually pop the black with the red in the way?
The black. Without using a cushion, I just put a lot of backspin on. But because I can't get underneath because the cushion's in the way, I have to down on the ball like this. And I can actually make the white ball go in a curve. It's called a masse shot.
See that then? Oh, 7 away.
Right, so back to the games.
Right.
Well, there's one thing that's always puzzled me, though, if you could come round here. If I strike the white ball with left-hand side towards the top end of the table, the white ball goes to the left. But if I play the same shot with left-hand side from the other end of the table, you'd think the same thing would happen. But actually, the opposite happens. It goes to the right. Now, how do you explain that?
Could you show us again?
Right, if I play a shot up the table with left-hand side towards the black spot, the ball goes with the side to the left. Now, if I play the same shot with left-hand side down the table, you would think the ball would go to the left again, but it actually goes to the right.
The cloth is a little like a cat's fur with the hairs all pointing in the same direction. Just try stroking a cat the wrong way. Of course, the cloth's hairs are considerably shorter. One of the regular jobs which you have to perform maintaining a snooker table is to iron it, always in one direction, so the nap is always laid facing up the table. One has only to feel with one's fingers to realise that the table is far smoother with the nap than against it.
Yeah, I think most snooker players have realised that.
Well, I think then we have to look at the point of contact of the ball and the cloth. And I seem to remember that there's a recent textbook that has dealt with the effect of spin on the ball and the contact with the nap.
Oh, so it has been researched?
Yes, not a lot, though. In fact, this is one of the most recent books on the subject. This book was written in 1899. Not totally up to date, but if everything in here is true, then the problem shouldn't be too difficult to understand. In this diagram, the ball is travelling left to right, and that is also the direction of the cloth's nap. In other words, each fibre points to the right. As the ball travels, there is a greater area of contact at the front than there is at the back. So the spin causes friction at the front, in this case pushing the ball out of the paper, but very little at the back to counteract that force, so the ball curves. If the nap were reversed, the main force would now be at the back of the ball, not at the front, so the ball would curve the opposite way.
So you think it's as simple as that?
It sounds reasonable to me.
Have you got 10 pence?
Sure.
Let's see if this agrees with what the book says. I'm going to try and roll the 10 pence piece up the table in the line of the nap. And as you can see, whichever way it starts to curve, it continues that way. Now, could you roll a 10 pence piece back against the nap?
Like this, Steve?
Now, this time it did an S. Is that what you expected?
No, it isn't. I think it must be something to do with the fact that when you roll coins across a table, they'll always go towards you down the nap. Watch this. Even coins like that, which start up the table, always come towards you. In fact, it's a very good way to win a bet. I'll call heads. I think we must look closer at the coin rolling over the cloth. Here, the fibres of the nap are pointing to the right. So if we look at the right-hand side of the coin, the explanation will start to appear. The individual threads are acting as little springs, each pushing the coin over. It's not much, but clearly it's enough. And while we're looking in close-up, let's see if the antique book had it right for the curving of the ball. Again, the fibres are pointing to the right. Now that's the maximum height of contact at the back of the ball. We're looking for a greater height of contact at the front. And there it is, that much. So they had it right in 1899.
Oh, good shot. 13. Ah, now there's a difficult, well, an interesting situation. Comes up quite a lot in snooker, especially when there's lots of reds on the table. They've only got 2 left. Both the balls are lined up for the pocket. So really, it's quite a simple shot, and plenty of people could do it. And then after you potted that blue, should be no trouble. Just to hit the second red, onto the first red.
And then it'll go straight in.
Go in. It's normally said that if you draw a line through the centres of these 2 balls and aim at the back one, the front one will follow the line no matter where you hit it from. And of course, knowing this helps me to play trick shots. Watch this. Another question answered.
So I shouldn't have any trouble potting this, then?
Let's hope not.
Right. Oh, dear.
14. Well, it's not bad. Perfectly on the blue.
Oh, dear.
Now, you see, you had better shot with the other ball. But what you should be able to do, really, for any sort of pot, is where it doesn't matter where it is. Take it round here. Is to actually imagine another white ball in line with the blue, the same as the 2-ball set we've just had. And if you could,
the same way the 2 reds were?
That's right. And if you could actually imagine where the white ball will appear, then you should pot the ball. So it's just a case of getting down on the shot, imagining where the white ball would be. And that works every time. Perhaps I should have told you earlier, but that's my edge.
Ah, well, it's the end of my break with 14 to go on.
Right. Well, I'm on the red, and as you can see, just a case of lining up on the imaginary white. And once again, the red ball should go in.
Show me how to do it again, then.
Right.
Right down the middle.
Right, and now a nice position for the blue.
So science has explained everything so far, Steve. Is there any other aspect of the game that you think science can help us with?
Well, I hope so. I can play a shot and play it perfectly, but sometimes the balls they don't go in the pocket, and it's not my fault, I feel. It's the sound of the balls is different.
Oh, isn't that what's called a kick? It's caused by chalk, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's got a kick. We don't really know what it's called. Some players think it's by chalk. I think it might be by static electricity. But if you remember in the 1981 semi-final against Cliff Thorburn, I was 6-all, down in the 13th, and I was on a good break, and all of a sudden this happened.
Five. Take Davis.
Well, I think I detected a slight kick there from that contact. Yes, the referee is cleaning the ball. I thought there was a nasty-sounding contact there.
You look pretty upset there, Steve.
Yes, I was. I felt I hadn't played the shot at all badly and got punished for it with a kick. And as you see, Cliff Thorburn asked Lengani, the referee, to clean the balls, to take all the chalk off. But I'm not too sure that's really the reason for kicks. Perhaps it's due to static electricity. And in cleaning the balls, the referee might be putting more static on.
Well, this looks like something I can investigate, Steve, and perhaps we ought to start by the sound of the contact of the 2 balls. Now, in the semi-final itself, both you and Cliff Thorburn and the commentator were able to detect that there was a different sound on that kick.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes, but we didn't hear it in the studio, and that's probably because the sound didn't come through the microphone.
Right.
So what we'll do now is we'll put the microphone next to the red ball, and if you can play the cue ball into the red ball, we'll see what the normal sound sounds like.
That was a good contact.
Good. Now, what we will do, we'll try and put some static charge into the cue ball here and do the whole thing again. Perhaps you ought to take the chalk off the end of your cue, so
Okay.
there's no chalk at all on the ball. Now, touch it onto a gold leaf electroscope. Yes, statically charged. I'd like you to pop the red ball and we'll see if there's any difference.
No, none at all.
That's a normal sound again?
Yeah, perfect.
All right, now then. We'll take a red ball and put some chalk on here, because that way you'll be absolutely certain that the chalk will contact as the two balls
Right, okay.
hit each other. So there's chalk on the red ball there. And we'll put that down there. And if you can then hit the cue ball onto the red ball, we'll see if there's any difference there.
Oh, yeah.
There's a definite sound difference there.
That's right, it was a kick.
Well, of course, that's not conclusive evidence, but it does seem as if it may be the answer to finding out what causes a kick.
Right, back to the game.
Let's carry on then. Should be no problem finishing these off then, Steve.
Well, I hope not. Right.
Drama in a moment with the last episode of Made in Britain, First Among Equals.
Well,
What was that, a break of?
never mind. 33.
Good
Good
stuff.
game. Well, not bad for a beginner. There you go. 82 plays 20.
That's
a best of
point.
three?
Well, that's a point I owe you.
All right, OK.
I tell you what, double or quits on the roll of a coin.
What, with you?
Yeah, come on.
Go on, then.
It's my call, right?
I'll stand for it.
I'll call heads.
This is for the World Championships.
Unbelievable.
I won again!